InterOil shareholders agree to ExxonMobil acquisition. Gender-based violence stakeholders condemn GBV deaths. And dam closure soon to affect Port Moresby residents.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thank you for joining me for Wednesday's news. Overnight, there has been a development regarding InterOil, with the majority of shareholders agreeing to a proposed acquisition of the energy company by ExxonMobil. At a special meeting, 91% of shareholders have agreed to the ExxonMobil deal, valued at around 7 billion kina. Although the proposal by ExxonMobil was first announced in July 2016, it has been delayed by disagreements from certain factions of shareholders who have taken this issue to court in Canada. However, a final decision from the courts is expected later this month.
ExxonMobil's proposed acquisition of InterOil has cleared one more hurdle, with InterOil shareholders voting in favour of this deal. In a special meeting held on Tuesday, an overwhelming 91% of shareholders voted for the proposed transaction, signalling overwhelming support for the ExxonMobil move. The ExxonMobil proposal, valued at around 7 billion kina, was first made in July 2016, just 3 months after a similar acquisition proposal for InterOil by PNG company Oil Search. Under this proposal, ExxonMobil will pay $45 per share. At the current rates, this translates to approximately 130 kina per share. This, plus an additional cash payment based on the elk antelope resource size. Given the results from the special meeting, InterOil is confident of having this proposal completed. There is another key decision that determines how this issue is to progress. A court decision on February the 20th, where InterOil is seeking a final order with respect to the amended and restated plan of arrangement. Meribatulo, National EMTV News.
Newcrest Mining Limited, Lihir, today released its quarterly update for its royalty payments for the year 2016. A total of 69.8 million kina has been paid to the stakeholders involved in the Lihir mining agreements between January and December last year. The royalty covers equity share between the New Ireland Provincial Government, Nimamar Local Level Government and the Lihir Mining Landowner Association, which consists of landowner clans. The New Ireland Provincial Government got the largest share of the royalty, totaling to about 34.9 million kina. The Nimamar LLG got the second largest share of about 20.9 million kina, while the landowner clans through the Landowners Association Lamala got 13.9 million kina. Preparations for the 2018 Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Leaders Summit are progressing well. Papua New Guinea will host APEC, a series of major international meetings that will end with the Summit of Leaders in Port Moresby in November 2018. Chief Secretary to Government Isaac Lupari said the benefits of APEC for PNG will come with the exposure. Chief Secretary Isaac Lupari said although hosting the APEC Leaders Summit will cost a bit, once the world leaders are in PNG, the whole world will focus on the country. He said critics need to know that the economic benefits from hosting APEC will be huge.
I know that oftentimes many of our Papua New Guineans are very critical of APEC meeting, but they're not able to understand the economic benefit that we will derive from hosting this major event. It'll cost us a bit, of course, but we're making sacrifice in the right manner and the right way, because we know down the line Papua New Guinea is going to benefit immensely.
PNG APEC Authority CEO Christopher Hawkins said preparations have stepped up to confirm the regional locations and ensure accreditation systems are effective for the expected 15,000 delegations.
Preparations have been much more stepped up over the last 2 years, and the last year in particular. It's all been about securing the locations, the venues, the accommodation, making sure the roads are set so that we can host a successful APEC summit, and also the full range of 200 meetings that will take place throughout the year.
PNG senior official to APEC Ivan Pomaleo said PNG hopes to go to APEC in June or July,
with a notional calendar that will set in stone the draft work program and schedules for 2018.
At the end of March, we will be consulting at very high levels with a number of our key stakeholder partners, and they're the ones who will tell us how we're tracking with respect to policy development and preparation. They're able to tell us whether we've addressed conclusively all the issues that we need to address or whether there are gaps in some of our thinking going forward.
Colonel Siale Diro from the Safety and Security Committee said they are now transitioning from strategic deliberations to operations. He said international partners have also indicated the types of assistance they will provide to PNG.
This far out from the meeting, that is the transition we are making, and we are on track to meet the milestones that we need to provide a safe and secure environment for APEC to take place here in Papua New Guinea.
PNG has already successfully hosted 4 smaller APEC meetings over the past year, as well as other major summits, including the African, Caribbean and Pacific Leaders Summit. Through careful planning and good communications, Papua New Guinea is looking to host a successful APEC summit. Deli Waigeno, National, EMTV News.
The overlapping of electorate boundaries within Leh, Nawaib and Huon districts of Moresby province is a great concern both politically and administratively. Moresby's election manager Simon Soheke says there are issues in regard to this matter that may affect the general elections, such as duplication of names in more than one LLG ward. Soheke said the issue has never been seriously addressed in the last 20 years.
Electoral boundaries play an important role in service delivery in terms of population density. Until recent years, population growth and urban modernization in Leh has spurred another amount of concern. This time, electoral boundaries may have a significant impact on the general elections.
Meaning that all administrative and political matters in regards to each district or boundary has to be set in one place only.
Some local level government wards are lying on the fringes of electoral boundaries, and to a larger extent, they pose a risk during the elections. Moresby's election manager Simon Soheke says people may have duplicated names in more than one ward.
Despite conducting 4 national elections in 1997, 2002, 2007, and the last one was 2012. And again, we will see the same problem in 2017.
In Leh City, wards like Ward 6 of West Taraka in Leh Haben local level government, IE Rural and Wampar Rural LLG wards shares a common electoral boundary. Their land demarcation was done in 1996 without any consideration given to Section 72 of the Organic Law on Provincial and Local Level Government Act. The affected wards of IE Rural LLG are starting from Ward 11 at Malahang to Ward 17 of Suko. The affected wards at Wampar LLG are starting from Ward 9 at 5 Mile to Ward 14 at Yalu. Meanwhile, for West Taraka, it is currently administered under the UN district, but was carved into the Leh Haben as Ward 6. Now, the transfer of West Taraka from UN to Leh Open Electorate would include Buimo CIS, East Taraka National Housing Estate, Igam Barracks, and the Bumayong Secondary School. Soheke outlined the current MPs for Leh, UN, and Nawai are aware of this situation. But to remove these constraints, it will require inter-district effort to identify and carry out repeal and transfer of those wards.
Our strategy is to conduct polling in Leh for one day, all the urban areas, Wampar, Nawaib urban, Huon, and Leh. We are going to conduct one-day polling.
Mata Louise, National EMTV News, Leh.
New Zealand's Foreign Affairs Minister Mari Mekali today launched the office complex of the Buka Urban Town Council. Mr. Mekali was happy with the long-standing relationship between New Zealand and Bougainville and said they will continue to work together to deliver services to the people. Fabian Hakalets files this report from Buka.
The delegation led by Minister McCulley and accompanied by New Zealand's High Commissioner to Papua New Guinea, Tony Fautua, arrived in Buka this afternoon and were met by the autonomous Bougainville government officials. This was the first infrastructure New Zealand's Foreign Affairs Minister has launched in his visit to the autonomous region of Bougainville, the Buka Urban Council's office complex. Buka Town Mayor John Agamata said they were committed to raise the standard of Buka Town as the main entry point of Papua New Guinea's autonomous region of Bougainville.
The next stage of its milestone, the council may need to take stock of its in order to embrace new challenges to reach overall Bougainville target.
The New Zealand's Foreign Affairs Minister thanked the staff of the Buka Urban Council for their commitment.
Can I also just say that on behalf of the New Zealand Government, we take our responsibilities as partners here very seriously. We've been on this for a long haul.
The Buka Urban Council's office complex was funded through the Governance Implementation Fund of the Australian and New Zealand government at the cost of over 600,000 kina.
For 25 years, we've been moving about the town law by office. Now a foreign minister of New Zealand come hand him over this office. I'm excited straight na. We have mastered the movie go inside this office at last. About me settle down na walking walk.
Now, Bougainville's acting President Raymond Masano has thanked the government of Australia and New Zealand for the long-standing partnership with the autonomous region of Bougainville. The handing over of this office complex for the Buka Urban Town Council marks another significant milestone. Mr. Masano says they will continue the mutual partnership with Australia and New Zealand. In Buka, Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
Gender-based violence stakeholders, a coalition of organizations dedicated to ending GBV in PNG, in a written statement condemned the alarming prevalence of domestic violence-related deaths in PNG. They said it demanded a tougher and immediate stance, both at the national, provincial and community level.
Their reaction follows the fatal death of former Miss PNG Ruby Ann Laufa 4 days ago. The 24-year-old was pronounced dead at the hospital's emergency ward after sustaining injuries inflicted on her by an abusive partner. Another victim of domestic violence was 24-year-old Regina Morove, who was gruesomely shot in the face. Her partner, who was held for the crime, is now out on bail. The GBVS statement also cited the death of another victim, Priscilla Wonga, earlier last month. Partners in the GBVS union are deeply concerned about the number of women and girls dying as a result of domestic violence. They have launched an appeal to authorities and the general public to act cohesively and collectively to address this endemic problem. Meanwhile, the stakeholders have called on women or relatives of women experiencing violence to call One Talk Counselling Helpline line 7150-8000 for help, especially when confronted by a violent situation. Nelisigo Viro, National EMTV News.
In the news ahead, Sirinumu Dam in the Sogeri Mountains of Central Province remained closed for a second day. That story among others when we come back. Welcome back. The main valves at the Sirinumu Dam outside Port Moresby remained closed for 33 hours now. Its closure is the direct result of what Koyari landowners say is the government's negligence to build their road. They are referring to the 5.5-kilometer stretch connecting Yarawari Secondary School to the Sirinumu Dam. The effects on the closure of the dam will be felt by city residents by tomorrow if the valves remain shut.
At 9 o'clock yesterday morning, Koyari landowners shut down the main valve at the dam and removed the key from the operator. When MTV News visited the dam today, the landowners were still waiting outside the dam for concerned authorities to respond to their grievances. What the Koyari landowners want is a standard road that can last up to at least 20 years. They say in the last 30 years, they have been walking from the Sirinumu Dam to Sogeri to access health, education and transportation services. 3 weeks ago, they blocked off road access into the dam, denying PNG Power workers from accessing the dam. They say they did that because they wanted government attention to fix their road.
We are telling the government of Papua New Guinea and the people in Port Moresby CV that you will stay like that until and unless the government listens to what we are demanding for. We are not asking for cash or any equity or whatever you can name it. We are only asking for the government to take a lead in doing the road.
This footage shows the road that leads to Sirinumu Dam. During rainy season, it becomes difficult for big vehicles to use the road. Locals say though their elected member has given them vehicles, they need proper sealed roads to use those vehicles.
That's rainy days. They have to tow the truck right up to the dam.
In 2014, the national government, through an NEC decision, allocated 10 million kina to seal the 5.5-kilometer road. However, no road was built, and the villages at the Sirinumu catchment area continue to walk for hours before reaching Sogeri. Despite the Work Secretary's proposal yesterday, the locals are refusing to open the valve.
If they want to do a temporary work, it must be guaranteed also that the next batch of money will be released for it. And we want it in writing.
They are now demanding the Department of Works to come clean on where the 10 million kina went to and are requesting that Dekanai Construction builds the road. Port Moresby residents are advised to store water for use if the situation worsens. Thakla Gunga, National EMTV News.
A primary school in Port Moresby with over 60 students in a classroom and in dire need of better infrastructure is carrying out fundraising to build a new classroom that was left incomplete. The classroom construction will be completed if the school board is allowed to submit a project plan to be approved by the NCD Education Division so that project fees would be charged to parents to cover the cost. However, that won't be the process. The national government has stopped schools from charging project fees. The Bavaroko School Board has no option but to organize parents to do a fundraising to complete the building. Bethany Herman with this report.
The Bavaroko Primary School has over 60 students in one classroom. That's twice the number of students per teacher ratio. Free education from the national government means more students in a classroom, but existing infrastructure does not cater for it.
And the classroom is, as you can see, it's too small to accommodate the number that I have in the class, which is 61.
It isn't getting any easier. Just yesterday, Education Minister Nick Kuman made a public announcement that schools are not allowed to charge project fees, while the Education Secretary, Dr. Uke Kombra, gave out a toll-free number to report principals who do.
Overcrowding in the class, the infrastructure, the ailing infrastructure cannot cater for the students is one of the problems that we're struggling with.
Bavaroko Board Chairman Nick Ninkam says schools need to charge project fees because, for some schools, the TFF funding just can't cater for their operational costs. He explains that if school boards follow the right process, then there is nothing wrong in charging these fees.
We're having a library project which will cost us around 1 million kina, and that has been highlighted so many times in the media. We have started this fundraising drive in 2015, 2016. We raised some substantial amount of money, but that cannot cater for the building, so we're still waiting for the government to assist us.
More attention has been given to the delays with TFF funding coming to schools like Bavaroko, but not just in Port Moresby, in Lae, Mount Hagen and in Medang also the same. But the real challenges are that when the TFF policy started, more students flocked into schools, putting a strain on existing infrastructures like classrooms, chairs and tables. The national government is adamant on providing universal education to all Papua New Guinean children. Its vision is noble, but because of the lack of support over the years to maintain and build new infrastructure, school administrations are now dealing with more problems. Bethany Harriman, National MTV News.
President of Garahu Secondary Parents and Citizens Fred Sabume is calling on the Education Department to remove public servants housed on the school campus. Sabume said the school has a strength of 64 teaching staff with only 7 housed in the school. Last year, parents and stakeholders contributed 250 kina each for the construction of a 2-bedroom complex.
Okay, in the school we have some institutional house here. Are built on the school ground, and public servants are living in the houses. So that's another problem that we will take it up with the Education Secretary to remove those public servants out of the school house, the institutional house. We must remove them, and we must allow for teachers to come in and live.
Glyn's Elementary is a small elementary school situated in the heart of the wildlife settlement area in Port Moresby. This NGO-funded institution is a feeder school to wildlife, Morata and Bora primary schools in the nation's capital. It provides counseling and cares for orphans. Eric Harupma with this report.
Established in 2010, Glyn's Elementary School is an NGO institution with 450 students from the wildlife settlement area. It has 7 volunteer teachers. There is short supply of students learning materials.
Children need desks and tables, chairs to sit on. Right now, some of them are sitting on the floor without no chairs, tables. Teachers, we also need like blackboard, whiteboard, things to use in school.
It is funded by Wiki and Digicel Foundation and also supports orphans, disadvantaged women and children on the streets and those living in the settlement.
In 2010, this lakanol piginia or Turango piginia more yellow here. Napura we said Londila area now. So this time now we are coming. Na maybe give him or wheelchair or crippled piginini, na wheelchair, walking thing, or checking on clothes, kaya.
The school is a feeder school to New Erima Primary, Morata Primary and Bora Primary schools in the nation's capital. School Chairman Joe Lako is calling on the Education Department to recognize this elementary school in the electorate. Eric Arupma, National MTV News.
With a focus on improving member services, superannuation provider Nasfund reopened its Boroko Client Centre. The new look facility now includes seating for up to 90 members with an aim to make its services more user-friendly. According to Nasfund Chairman Hulala Tokome, the reopening of the Boroko Client Centre is a step in the right direction in making services more convenient for Nasfund members.
It was all smiles for members today as the doors were reopened at Nasfund's Boroko Client Service Centre. The new look facility, which underwent a major renovation, finally opened after 6 months. According to Nasfund Chairman Hulala Tokome, the investment in the Boroko Client Service Centre was in line with the vision of the Nasfund board to make services for members more efficient.
This is all part of the board's vision in being able to provide a service such that our members are able to feel that they are part of the fund, and our staff being able to work in an environment which is much more conducive for them to be able to serve our members.
For Nasfund Chief Executive Officer Ian Tarutia, the reopening of the centre signals the beginning of exciting changes within Nasfund as it strives to make its services more accessible and efficient for members. And with a membership of over 500,000, the expectation for excellence is there, and Nasfund is working to achieve this.
At the same time, we want to give back a value-add service, so it's not just about looking after monies and then walking away. What do members get out of it? And this has been something that we've been working on certainly over 2016, and 2017 is the year of rollouts.
And from initial reactions, the New Look branch has already impressed, with members excited about the level of service on day one.
Small blalo na pasad na kon gubla lon man bakam siram with him line affordable blow what the customers blow. Service blow and fast. You just go within 5 seconds or 10 seconds and power and finish. You go back and making up the work blow.
Meribatulo, National EMTV News.
And now looking at our finance news, the kina closed unchanged at $0.3150 in the interbank markets. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.3075, $0.398 Australian dollars, $0.2885 euro, and 34.88 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, coffee, cocoa, and copra closed the day lower. Palm oil, crude oil, and copper closed the day lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 92.25 points higher. The ASX is trading at 53.83 points higher, and the All Ordinaries closed at 48.24 points higher. Ahead in the news, Medang-Simbu Road nears completion and electricity connected for Togoba Western Highlands after 40 years. Stay tuned for details. Welcome back to the news. After nearly 2 years of planning, a new national highway is almost ready for people in Medang and Simbu. Usino Bundi District Executive Officer Augustine Koroma says vehicles with four-wheel drive are now using the road. Koroma says the road is now the new access to the Highlands region.
In early September 2015, the Usino District initiated plans to develop this strategic road access. Now the road is in use with only a portion at the Baya Bridge to be completed. The new road access will now take 3 to 4 hours from Medang to Simbu. The road is set to bring economic benefits for both Usino Bundi people and Medang.
People live close to all Bundi, all Usino, all Baraman, there's like an up here. People live there's like a road here. Now in time you all in ground. Man pull up Highlands here, all captured by you by short wind.
Medang shares boundaries with Simbu, Western Highlands, Eastern Islands, East Sepik and Morobe. Most provinces are linked by road, however most of these roads, which are part of the national highway, are declining at an unstoppable speed. Efforts have been made to maintain most damaged parts of the highway, however the current weather pattern is taking no chance for the roads. The Bundi-Simbu road is hoped to be officially opened next month.
This la Simbu kam go Medang road and by go yet na you mean by Peninsula road.
Jack Lapava Jr. National EMTV News.
More than 20,000 people from the Togoba area in Western Highlands province will soon receive electricity. 6 million kina was made available by the member for Hagen Open, William Duma, for the rural electrification project. So far, 12 areas in the electorate have already received electricity.
Locals from the Togoba area cried with tears of joy as PNG Power workmen put up the power post. Community leaders say this was the first time to receive electricity since independence. Despite being close to the city, they still live the traditional way. Mothers displayed their appreciation through an act portraying that they will do away with the traditional way of living and will embrace this new lifestyle.
Online lo taon ol tok bandre mol putim go inside lo enol sawit asol noga tuan la sebes na plan di line ol kam inside lo ye memol to golsem mi plan golon simio mi plan golonga tambul la backside.
It is a 10-kilometer power project from the Minim area to Togoba. The project alone costed 654,000 kina. Jim Penna, the project coordinator and the executive officer to Hagen Open MP William Duma, said he had identified that the Togoba people needed electricity so much. Penna said the people deserved to receive such project and will continue to provide such services to others who missed out.
Give him good support. So him belamamas blo yumi. So him mosem yumi appreciate him na respect him project. Look at him all workman so that power work blo yumi can go ahead.
Pena said the project was Duma's desire to ensure his people receive the most needed services to raise their standard of living. Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
We have a big lineup in Trukai Sports. Marum names Hunters squad to take on Northern Pride, Schoolboys rugby, basketball and more. Stay tuned for details.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. SPPNG Hunters coach Michael Marum has named a 20-man squad for their pre-season trial match against the Northern Pride in Cairns this weekend. 5 debutants have been named in the squad, including Vice-Captain Wellington Albert and inaugural Captain Israel Eliab.
Omitted from the squad is Little General Watovo Puara and Adex Wera, who are both nursing injuries, and Edward Goma, who has been released from the Hunters Club.
Played the first trial game against Northern Pride last weekend, and they'll be really fired up to play us. That's a last trial game as well. So yeah.
David Loco, Anderson Banford, Noel Joel and Junior Rob have been released to join the Lace Next Tigers for the Melanesian Cup contest in Fiji, along with Eddie Duffer and Paul Wawa.
David Loco, Junior Rob, Anderson Banford, and also Noel Joel. Okay, so they'll be with the Next Tigers tomorrow. We do an opposition against them, just training with them tomorrow, combined here. So, they go away and then come back straight after the Fiji game.
Edward Goma has been released from the club due to personal reasons, while Watovo Puara is rested for minor groin injury.
As for us to release him, he's gone back to Rabaul, so he'll join up the Egma Gures. He'll go straight into their squad, and we've organised for him to be employed by EGMAC too, so that's good that he is back in the ball. I think he's got family issues, that's why he couldn't stay, but he was with us for the last 3 years.
Marum added that the 4 Tigers players will play in the annual Melanesia Cup in Fiji this weekend and hopefully defend and bring the cup back to PNG like the Gurias did last season. Coach Marum will try out some new combinations with the 20 selected players in this pre-season trial match against Northern Pride in Cairns, Australia on Saturday. Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports.
Concepts taught at an earlier age will benefit players as they grow in the game. This was the message instilled in young players during their rugby training session yesterday by sport teacher Andrew Briggs. The Englishman, a PE teacher by profession, was out and about with a group of 50 boys, braving the afternoon heat, preparing for a new year in rugby.
In 2015, Papua New Guinea was recognized by World Rugby as the country with the highest number of participants in rugby union in the Pacific. And through their Get Into Rugby program, the PNG RFU has pushed over the years for participation by schools in the country. Budding players at the Port Moresby International School braved the sun in the capital as a more physical approach to the game was introduced.
Ready, go, attack, hit! We're trying to get rugby union growing in the schools and throughout the country. So we're very fortunate that the boys here like their rugby. And so this is only their second week, and we've got nearly 50 boys turning up.
Andrew Briggs, sport instructor at the school, says the impact on teaching kids at a younger age will benefit the players in the long run.
My playing days are long over, I'm afraid. Too many injuries and broken bones. But as an ex-player, on the sideline, you wish you were on the field. And so I just try to pass my knowledge and instruction on to the youngsters, really.
Get Into Rugby is a curriculum-based program introduced by World Rugby to maximize the number of participants in the code, from players to coaches and referees. Jeremy Mogi, National TV Sports.
The National Football Stadium announced the launching of inaugural season membership packages at the NFS for 2017. At the launching, NFS General Manager Lee Pokarop says this year will see the most exciting premier sporting and entertainment events being held in Papua New Guinea.
There are 3 membership packages available for the 2017 calendar at the National Football Stadium, one being at the Hunters Home membership, capped at 200 members. This membership gives access to 2017 season membership card, fully transferable, that gives exclusive access to the following.
With this membership, you get a 2017 season membership card which is fully transferable, giving you access exclusively to East Stand seating for all regular season Hunters games, which number at 11. You get a 20% discount on venue hire of the NFS Club Lounge, which we're in presently. You get a 20% discount on premium seating, the mini boxes that we've recently installed outside.
The second membership is the Hunters Gold membership, capped at 1,000. The Gold membership is the second tier membership and is a season pass for the grandstand.
You also get a 40% discount on corporate box hire on non-game days. As with the first membership, you get guaranteed access to tickets for Hunters finals, the PM's 13 and the 3 Rugby League World Cup games prior to the tickets being released to public.
The third membership is the VIP Club Lounge membership that allows the season pass for the Club Lounge. There are only 100 of this available.
You get a 20% discount on venue hire of this Club Lounge should you choose to, and a 40% discount on the corporate boxes on non-game days. So basically this is a non-game day. If you're a member, you're entitled to hire the corporate boxes. You may do that for business, you may do that for leisure. There might be 6 of your friends. You might decide to have a meeting, order catering from this venue.
PokerUp says they realized they needed to modernize the ease of access to tickets for National Football Stadium events. Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports.
The election of a new chairman of PNG Rugby Football League will take place during the annual general meeting in Lae on February 26th. Current PNG RFL chairman Sandy Saka has received overwhelming support from 7 Southern Confederate affiliates of PNG RFL to retain the position for a second term. Southern's biggest league, the Port Moresby Rugby League, with its board members, has stated that under Saka's leadership, the national body has made progress. The board also expressed confidence in Saka to lead PNG RFL for another term, especially with the World Cup looming and Hunters into the 4th season in the Queensland Cup. Basketball PNG will have a new strategic plan implemented this year. The plan includes the upskilling of all coaches and officials in the country. The implementation came about after an agreement was established between Basketball PNG, PNG Olympics Committee and the PNG Sports Foundation.
Basketball PNG has been making strides since the 2015 Pacific Games, and the success of its new development programs for junior players has been used to partner with the PNG Olympics Committee and the PNG Sports Foundation in making sure that the 2017 strategic plan also includes the upskilling of all basketball coaches and officials in the country. A 3-day workshop will be staged at the Turama Aquatic Centre for interested coaches and officials. The workshop will see a combination of 2 self-motivated courses, which will include the Oceania Sports Education Program for coaches and officials and Hoops for Health. Upon completion, official certificates will be handed to applicants who successfully complete the 3-day workshop. Executive Officer Joel Kalu said the aim of the workshop is to increase the number of certified coaches and officials while developing their skills, as many of them coach without any formal training. The course will take place on Tuesday the 21st and finish on Thursday 23rd of February. Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
Trukai Sports continues after the break. Don't go away.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. The 2018 Gold Coast Commonwealth Games are set to start in April next year from the 4th to the 14th. With the event to be hosted for the first time in the regional city, construction of the venues and Games Village on the Gold Coast is well underway.
With the city of Gold Coast to be the first regional city in Queensland, Australia to host a sporting event, which is well known around the globe, preparations and negotiations among regional cities such as Townsville and Cairns and others are underway for the hosting of the Games on the Gold Coast. With only 15 months to the Commonwealth Games, construction work on the Games Village is progressing well and is expected to be completed on time. New roads are also being built in the city to cater for the busy traffic expected in the city during game time. In addition, transport for athletes and spectators are also looked at, with the construction of more new roads built both in and out of the city and with the inclusion of new monorails and tramlines. The Gold Coast Aquatic Centre, which holds a total of 6 swimming pools, will host several water sport events such as diving and water polo. In line with the facilities and venues construction, accommodation for tourists and travellers will be in demand, and already new buildings and housing plans are underway. With time fast running out, all contributing construction for the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games are expected to finish on time, with the opening ceremony to take place at the Metricon Stadium, home of the Gold Coast Suns. The Commonwealth Games starts on April 4th and finishes on the 14th. Godwin Eki, National MTV Sports.
To football, in the OFC Under-17 World Cup qualifiers, New Zealand made a stunning start to their defence of the OFC Under-17 Championship title on Monday night with an 11-0 goal first registered against Samoa in Tahiti. Fellow Group B sides, Fiji and Solomon Islands, played out a thrilling 1-1 stalemate in the second encounter of the evening. For the New Zealanders, qualification at the top of their group was always the initial outcome.
It was a strong start for the Kiwis, who took just 5 minutes to register their first goal when Willem Benj chested down an indirect free kick and volleyed it hard into the net. His brace would come just 5 minutes later when he followed up on an attempted clearance. A much improved performance for the Samoans in the second half, however, the New Zealand side proving too powerful for the tiring team to overcome. Samoa held out until the 67th minute, where an unmarked Palmer looped his header over the back-pedaling Eti Fatu. Palmer would add 2 more to earn a hat-trick, along with another to Sprague to join him. In the days of the match, an early goal for Fiji, the quickest in the tournament so far at 3 minutes, helped with their confidence, while also putting their opponent Solomon Islands on the back foot. It was a fast-paced encounter, thanks to the quick playing style the Solomon Islands adopted, combined with Fiji's physicality and decision to use their height to their advantage with long balls. Despite the SI advances, they struggled to find their target and had to go into the break with a deficit of 1 goal. The Solomon Islands would come out with renewed energy in the second half, eventually getting what they wanted in the 51st minute, when Ellis Mana fired the ball into the net off an odd-angled cross from Stewart Toata. The Solomon Islands had the better chances of the remaining period, but couldn't break down the Fiji backline, forcing them to take a share of the points. Jeremy Moggy, National TV Sports.
And that ends Chukai Sports. Your weather details up next. Don't go away.
Chukai Sports. Chukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield, worth doing with Dulux.
Your weather forecast for the next 24 hours, mostly fine in Port Moresby and Daru, cloudy with a chance of a shower or 2 in Kerema and Alotau, and showers in Popondetta. In the Mamase region, showers expected in all centres. In the New Guinea Islands region, rain showers in Lorengau, Kimbe and Buka, a shower or 2 in Kavieng, and cloudy with a chance of a shower or 2 in Kokopo and Rabaul. And in the Highlands region, cloudy with morning fog clearing in all centres.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield, worth doing with Dulux.
A quick recap on our main stories for tonight. InterOil shareholders agree to ExxonMobil acquisition. Gender-based violence stakeholders condemn GBV on deaths, and dam closure soon to affect Port Moresby residents. And that's the way it is this Wednesday, the 15th of February 2017. From the entire news team, pleasant viewing. Good night.